Guam Air Force Reserve is celebrating its third decade of existence, its 30th anniversary. 30th. Joining me in studio to tell us more about this exciting milestone is Major Anthony Nicholas and Captain Patrick Lujan, both friends of the KUAM news team, especially Mr. Lujan over there, a former broadcaster.
Yeah, always good to come back.
Okay, gentlemen, so tell us exactly about the Air Force Reserve and its presence on Guam. First question, the most obvious one.
Well, the Air Force, within its history, actually started way back then in March 21st, 1981. And that's the inception here on this island. And it started with 64 chartered members. And the whole concept behind that was to try and provide airlift cargo and offload cargo for the passenger and processing passenger service for folks that are from Hickam Air Force Base and making in transitions or transit to the different locations from here to Hawaii and so forth.
Mm-hmm. And so Guam, the Air Force Guam Reserve is now in its, or the Air Force Reserve, I should say, is now in its 30th year. And the Air Force itself is how old?
More than 60 years old.
Okay.
Yeah. But the reserve component started in 1948 with President Truman that created what was supposed to be a standby force to help active duty, but it has evolved into a force that works side by side along with active duty. You know, it makes up 20% of the Air Force capabilities on only 4% of budget, the Air Force budget. So if you look at the financial scheme of things and the overarching view of the Air Force, you know, the Air Force gets their bang for the buck using the Air Force Reserve.
Okay, of course, the U.S. Air Force, a former component of the U.S. Army before they branched off into their own service. Okay, so both of you gentlemen are with the 44th Aerial Port Squadron.
Yes, sir.
Major Nicholas, what's that all about?
The 44th Aerial Port Squadron is, just like it said, it's an aerial port squadron that's part of its mission, actually, especially during our peacetime, is to assist with the active duty. We have the same concept, which is the same mission altogether, and that's to provide support. And we're talking about airlifts and things like that, just also with cargo. We're also talking about airlift of passenger and processing the passengers to the various locations or destinations. And with that said, what happens from there is we also work in the area of not just the cargo side of the house, but also we work in transition with other Air Force or personnel. For example, the active duty on base, which is the 36th Air Force wing up in Anderson Air Force Base. So we work simultaneously with those folks.
Okay, so basically like a logistics unit.
Yes, okay. We do.
All right, outstanding. So Captain Lujan, has the 44th APS, is this a deployable unit, or is it basically the members are pretty much like stationed?
It is. We're almost 100% deployed unit. Hundreds of us have been deployed throughout the globe, from Kyrgyzstan to Afghanistan, Iraq, Turkey, Qatar, and we have a big footprint going out later on this year as well. So we've been supporting the mission, the war against terrorism, different humanitarian missions. We stepped up and helped stateside with Katrina and other natural disaster relief efforts.
Okay.
So this year we're celebrating 30 years. We're proud to come out and you know, tell the people who we are. You know, out of 227 individuals within our unit, you know, it's across the community. Almost 100 of us work for government of Guam. 40, some of us work for the federal government. Another 40, some of us work in the private sector. So, you know, I'm sure somebody out there knows one of the reservists on Guam.
Okay, well, spoken like a true former broadcaster. You've still got it in you, because that's a very clever segue, because now we're going to ask, you know, since this is, since the Guam Air Force Reserve started in '81, this is the 30th anniversary, what kind of activities are going to be done to celebrate that achievement and involve the community and maybe create awareness about the reserve?
Sure. First of all, what we're having is on the 20th of this month, we're actually having a mass commemoration. And we're going to kick off with that mass celebration here in the cathedral. And then I know that Pat will kind of chime into the other activities. Actually, I gave him the task to go ahead and be the chair for this, but
that's delegation.
Yeah, that's delegation authority. Yeah. And then we also have the correct me if I'm wrong, Pat, the proclamation that's happening on the 21st,
Correct,
right?
yeah, with the
Yeah,
governor.
with the governor and things of that. And then, of course, the next thing about that, the proclamation, is we also have the banquet, right? Which is on the 26th. And you're more than welcome to, we're inviting you right now. So.
Well, thank you, sir.
And that's going to commence with the actual banquet in commemoration of the 30th anniversary, or 44th. And then to kick it off on the 27th, finally on that Sunday, we have what they call the open house, where the public can come in and view exactly what we do, our duties and responsibilities, and kind of showcase what we have. And that's going to be up at Anderson Air Force Base.
But it doesn't end there, Jason, because on April 3rd,
That's right.
we are wrapping things up with our 5K event. Starts and finishes in EPAW.
Yep.
It's a Fit to Fight program, part of our Air Force Fit to Fight, and you're invited because I heard you run the 5Ks in about 16 minutes.
I can do maybe 2.
I make sure Dave Delgado comes out, make sure Sabrina comes out, Roland Quintanilla, those guys have to come out.
Oh yeah, if Rollins there, then I'm there.
Okay, deal.
Well, you and Rollin and I will be neck and neck.
He might have me by a hair.
Yeah, a couple long hairs.
The symbolic about that, Jason, just to add on to what Captain Han said, was we're also not only celebrating our rich, the commemoration of our 30th anniversary, the rich history of the Chamorro Nation actually altogether. You know, as a culture, we're rich in our heritage as well as, kind of portray our culture out to everybody else. And we invite the public to see this, because this is very important, not just to us or to the members who are retired, because they're going to be there also, but to the families, because Guam is all about family. And that's where we're coming from with.
All right, gentlemen, sirs, thank you very much, and thank you from behalf of all of us on Guam for what you do for our island and our country.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
All right, stay tuned. KUAM News Extra continues after this.
Sagi Chamorro. Special thanks to the Horao Academy. Visit them on Facebook or call 472-5858.
Hafiday tauta guahan si Diyos masi na manhita gunigitagi tomorrow para esi na semana. Esi gitalo y student ko.
Hafiday Guahozu si James Martinez, Ginini Guam Contractors Association.
Esa James. Nita tutun.